Hello, everyone. Welcome to Developing Palates. I am Aaron Loomis, and with me, as always, is June Liu. How you doing, June?
Doing great.
So today we are talking about the Crux Limitada PB5. Cigar is Toro Extra, 5 3/4 inch by 54 ring gauge. Comes out of the Plasencia factory in Nicaragua. The wrapper is Ingenoso. The binder is Connecticut broadleaf, and the filter is undisclosed. The cigar is blended by Jeff Hogan. Price point is $11.99, and the cigar was released in April of 2016. So, with all that out of the way, June, what was your pre-lat experience like?
Really good. First, you got to give it up to that. How do you say that? Anganorso?
No, I said Enginoso. I think that's right. You don't
Okay.
don't think of Aganorsa. Don't think of that when you say it.
Okay. Well, what Aaron said. So that wrapper, it's a beautiful wrapper. Medium light brown, Colorado Claro wrapper shade. A lot of slick oiliness on the wrapper, and you can really sense it on the fingertips. And it's super smooth. It's tight, nearly invisible. Cigar feels really well bunched and rolled. Didn't feel any soft spots or hard spots. Head finish off with a really nice thick double cap. When I went to the nosing experience, smelling the wrapper, I got a cedar, like a spiced herb note coming through, and dry barnyard. Smelling the foot, uh, like a spicy dose of cedar, white pepper, and this rich roasted nuttiness. And then on the cold draw, I got white pepper, sharp cedar, and mixed nuts. So overall, really well presented cigar.
Yeah, wrapper was medium brown, a couple of medium-sized veins present. Seams are smooth, barely visible, while the head finished off with what appeared to be a double cap. Also, a little bit of a square press to the cigar. Two bands, primary band being the standard Crux Limitada band, and the second denoting PB5. Aroma from the wrapper was a mix of barnyard and stone fruit sweetness, while the foot gave a mix of the stone fruit sweetness and some hay. Pre-light draw was a mix of faint stone fruit sweetness and leather. So, getting the flavor profile, first third to final third, what was your experience like?
Starting from the first third, just like that IPCPR limited edition one that we had, I thought the PB5 showed a lot of great structure and complexities. Mouth draws of like a really rich roasted sweet and cream nuttiness, bread, cedar, hay, balanced black pepper. So a lot of stuff going on. It's. I thought it was also noteworthy noting that cigar doesn't dry out your palate. I mean, I drink a moderate amount of water before this. I wasn't like dehydrated or hydrated by any means, but it's a very mouth-watering kind of a sensation to the palate. So always good. Retrohaling, notes of heightened spicy cedar, and there's a richness in dried nuts. Finish, medium in length, mainly comprised of bread and dry wood. Strength and body on the medium side. Moving on to the second third, still shows really good structure and complexities. I mean, I thought the profile started picking up some minerality in addition to the pre-existing notes. The retro still full of that spicy cedar and rich dried nuts. Finish picks up black pepper with that same bread and dry wood notes. And strength and body continues to be medium. Within the last third, the only mainly notable difference that I had was the increase in the pepper spice delivery. It wasn't by any means like overpowering, but it was more of like a nice building kind of spice. Aside from that, still mouth draws a lot of this rich roasted onioness, sweet cream, minerals, bread, hay, and cedar going on. Retro still like a lot of deepness in spicy cedar and rich roasted onioness. Finish also picks up the increased spice levels as well, in addition to the bread and dry wood. And cigar finish, for the most part, still within that medium strength and body category.
Yeah, initial draws brought in aged cedar, quarter-inch in, some creamy pepper joined in on the background. Retrohale is a slightly peppery cedar. At an inch in, the profile became a bit fuller with the cedar, the cream, and the pepper, which kind of created a very flavorful mixture. And then at an inch and a half, some coffee joined into the mix as well. As the third was coming to a close, that pepper dialed back some, while that creamy cedar was up front, and the strength in the first third was just slightly above medium. Getting the second third, the cream backs off a little bit, and some char came in to join that peppery cedar. At a half-inch in, some bitterness joined in with that charred cedar, while the cream and the pepper had completely left the profile. At an inch in, the cedar transitioned to oak, but still carried the char and the slight bitterness to it. And the retrohale was like a warm oak with some slight bitterness to it as well. And that's kind of how the second third finished, and strength was just slightly above medium there as well. Getting to the final third, bitterness ramped up and moved kind of the oak to the background. I performed a purge, which is, kind of definitely knocked down to a lot of the bitterness. At a half inch in, that oak's up front with some bitterness in the background. And then at an inch in, that oak gained a little bit of a toasty note while the bitterness increased a little bit. At an inch and a quarter, bitterness took over the profile again and kind of pushed the oak to the background. And that's kind of how the cigar finished out. The strength in that final third was medium full. So getting into performance for burn and draw, what was your experience like?
Really good. In terms of the burn, it was burn line was sharp, inch and a half, solid inch marks, ash marks. I never had to use a lighter after the initial light. Only negative was a little bit of a flowering on that ash within the first and last third. But I'm totally nitpicking. Draw wise, it was kind of a toss up. One I smoked two of these. One was a bit loose, and another was perfect. So, I averaged both of them out, and I gave it a very good. But really, with that said, no issues with the draw. The cigar was still burning cool. Tasted everything without the draw being annoying or anything. So.
Yeah, burn line was just slightly wavy, never really needed any attention. Ash held on in 2 inch increments, so didn't really have much complaints for that. In regards to the draw, I thought it was perfect. It had just the right amount of resistance I prefer, so I had no issues with the draw at all. So overall, what were your thoughts?
I love cigars like this, man. There's so many cigars, especially in the U.S. market, that I feel like it's heavily on the spice. On the strength side of this spectrum, and it's really nice to smoke a cigar that has like building qualities of flavors and adding spice instead of just like blasting your palate with it. And I really enjoy that within the cigar. I think there's really like I was saying, there's some really special about that Enganoso wrapper that Crux is using. But within knowing that, especially this 2016 rendition is limited, I would totally try to find some of these if I were you, whoever's listening and reading, because once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah, the first third started out slow, but really got going towards the middle. Once reaching the second third, a little bit of bitterness joined in. I could never really shake that, which was disappointing because it kind of dominated the profile at times. I had high hopes for the cigar, as the 26 show edition Limitada is based off of this blend. And it was my #1 cigar of the year for 2016. But the cigar didn't perform that same way. I think I got a dud, and I put in my written review that I was hoping that you had a better experience with your cigar, which obviously you did based on your score and everything. So I think the one I got, this was just a one-off in regards to the quality of it, of the construction or something, or the bitterness was just overpowering at times. So I definitely want to revisit this and see. The blend is based on the same thing from what I smoked and ranked #1 last year. So I don't see how this can be that far off. So chalk this one up to a little bit of inconsistency between the cigars, but I think that's where I'll kind of leave it there. So getting the scores, I gave it a 5.87. You gave it an 8.33. So there's a huge gap there. So how do you think that matches up with your experience?
Really well. I was looking back at my IPCPR Crux score. I liked this one better. I think I liked both both flavor profiles, but this one did better because it simply performed construction-wise better.
Yeah, mine was really just based on flavor profile. Bitterness really just in the middle of that second third, and then the rest of the cigar just really kind of took over the profile at times. Construction was fantastic. It was really just that bitterness that really dropped it down for me. So I think, like I said, I think I just got a dud here, but I'm looking forward to smoking more to make sure that that's the case. Any other final thoughts from you?
I'm curious so Crux came out in 2017 PB5, right?
Right.
I wonder if that one is essentially the 2016 aged and they re-released it. I forget. I don't know they said anything about that.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case. I think it's actually like a new batch.
Okay.
So yeah, if it's the same cigar with a year of age on it, then that's a different story. But I think it's a secondary batch.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, anyways, I'm looking forward to smoking that one then.
right. All right, if you're just catching this video on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to us, but also check out the full written review on the website, developingpalates.com. Follow us on all the social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Google+. You can also catch all of our review recaps on podcasts, so iTunes, Google Play, and Podbean. Thank you for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one.